All right, Lions fans. Welcome to a very sobering episode of Lions Avenue, dealing with the 20-19 heartbreaking loss at Dallas last night. I think all Lions fans can look at this game and walk away from it saying that this team, at least defensively, which is something no one saw coming. I think most of us, you and I included, both saw a game probably the over under was 52.5, 52 and a half. So I think we both thought it was going to be somewhere well over that. Turned out to be a defensive battle. Our Detroit Lions, I think AG, Aaron Glenn deserves his kudos. I think he drummed up one hell of a game plan for Dallas. Now, I do understand CeeDee Lamb had a career night. Is what it is. It happens with number one receivers against us. Lamb is a hell of a player. We don't have anyone out there on the field that can cover him. We saw Cam Sutton struggle heavily against him, and we really had no other answer, so we were stuck with Sutton on him for the most part. But overall, the defense had a solid game plan. I thought they did a great job of limiting everyone else, the tight ends included. The running game was shut down. I believe they only averaged 2 yards a carry. So before we get into the situation with the referees and the call at the controversy at the end of the game, we want to just keep it strictly about the game right now at the moment. So we go back into, I think, the early part of the game. You and I are in agreement as far as the second time that Dan chose to go for it. We felt he should have took the points. Personally, I felt that at that point in time in the game, you have to have a good gauge for the feel of the game and the direction it's going. To me, it felt like Dallas, the whole mojo was thrown off. It may have been thrown off mainly because of the previous two games they had, the losses to the Dolphins and Bills. Could be some carryover into this game, but Dallas just didn't feel right. They had the one broken play to CeeDee Lamb for the 92-yard touchdown, but aside from that, they never were able to get the running game going. They were never really able to get the tight ends going, catch volume-wise in the seams. A lot was thrown off with them. Brandon Cooks, for whatever reason, couldn't make major plays. So offensively, everything was thrown out of whack for them. So I felt like in a game like that, you have to take the points when they're there. So I felt same thing with you. They should have the game at that point in time should have been 7-6 early in the second quarter. Now you get to halftime. I thought the game was starting to unfold exactly the way I felt it would. I thought that both teams offensively would be kind of filling each other out in the first half. Defenses would be, kind of on keel, going to do what they're going to do. And it's
Hmm.
going to take the offenses a minute to really adjust. And I felt that both offenses would kind of pick the game up, pick the pace up in the second half. That never happened. So it remained a tough backyard fight, bare knuckle. And then we find a situation where this is how I view it. This game, this loss goes on three people outside of the situation with the referees. I'm looking at Dan Campbell and the inconsistency in the coaching decisions throughout 4 quarters of the game. I'm looking at poor play from Jared Goff. I'm looking at a guy that still struggles whenever opposing defenses decide to take away the middle of the field for him. We had two big plays downfield. The offense is
Yeah.
still basically the same, but the defense was able to keep them involved in it. So, and then also, Ben Johnson's play calling. That's why I'm not so much angry at the fact that they go for it on fourth down, or they have, even outside of the fourth down calls, a lot of the third down calls were terrible. And they keep happening with these same exact run formations out of these same sets. And defenses continue on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Why? To me, I don't understand this. Why do they seem to get more creative with Montgomery as
Hmm.
far as the blocking scheme than they do Jahmyr Gibbs? It's almost as if they just give Jahmyr the ball and say, go do something.
Hmm.
But they do
Yep.
more scheming
Yep.
for Montgomery. And you see it in the way the blocking is set up for him. But those are the three people I'm thinking that are squarely responsible for this loss. I can't put anything on AG. I understand that CeeDee Lamb had a historical night, but it didn't lead to anything. We still had them boys stuck on 10 points midway through the fourth.
Yeah.
So as a defense as a whole, AG and his squad did their job.
Yeah.
The Derek Barnes play was crazy though.
Yeah.
From
Yep.
broken play. I don't know what
Should have
Barnes
had.
was doing. I
Yeah.
don't know if he didn't if he called himself trying to avoid a penalty, but tackle. I
Yep.
saw midway through the game, Jack Campbell made a perfect play on
Yep.
a hit. He didn't hit him. He didn't hit Dak. He got him to the ground. He rolled with him. But you got to make that play. There's no reason to not make that play. I'm interested to see what Dan Campbell said to him. But yeah, it was frustrating, man. It was frustrating. But I've been long winded on this. So you tell me
No.
now, tell
No. No.
everybody else, what are you thinking?
No. I'm looking at the plays. Okay. First of all, Happy New Year, my brother. It's been a great season. First of all, let me just say this as a football fan. Hell of a game last night. I'm telling you right now, that was like must see TV. That was the if that's any indication of what the playoffs is going to be. I'm all in, man. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I think before I start, we could really hang our hats on this team, and I think that they're a good team. I think the Lions could really, really like seize the season opportunity here. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm gonna just say they can seize the opportunity this year. You know what I mean? Given the fact we see Philly losing, we'll get into that. I don't have to get into it yet. We'll talk about the game first. Okay. It's a couple things. It was a play in the first quarter. I'm looking back, Walt, at the game book. Uh Dan Skipper did call himself eligible in the first quarter, which was interesting. Which I don't know why would you do it in the first quarter. On the first drive of the game, it was just stated, and it's weird how you look at these game books, but they detail every nuance of the play, and he called himself eligible for a play in the first quarter. Okay, just like if you look on the playbook, it does say, he called himself eligible in the fourth quarter, which the Lions denied it and say it was the wrong guy and it should have been Taylor Decker. But anyways, that was interesting. I just wanted to see what was going on with that. Okay, yeah, I didn't like. First of all, I'm not a blame the ref guy. Okay, that's not me. I mean, yeah, yesterday I was posting on Facebook, got my emotions got the best of me. Okay. I'm not ever gonna blame the rest. But in this situation, absolutely, man. Tristan said it best. We got robbed. I mean, I hate to say it like that. It should now. Only thing that Dallas was right. They felt, hey, it shouldn't have, they felt they should have beat us by more points, right? So the Lions should have never came down to that. That's why I felt I'm totally with Dan Campbell going for it. Absolutely. That was the play to go for it on. Now the other ones, and we've seen it way too much. I think over his 3-year tenure, and I think that's what people are upset about because he constantly does it. And hey, sometimes we make it, sometimes we don't. Like the fake punt was beautiful. Everybody loved it. When we did it in Kansas City in our own territory, remember that first game we see it worked. Everybody loved it, right? The fact that we didn't make it and we didn't get it on the last play after three, well, on the third, well, the second one was an interception, and then the third play was the horrible pass by Jared Goff. That made me even worse. That made it worse for me. Like the play, it was almost like you blew your wad on the first play, and it was like, well, the third pass by Goff was absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even give our guy to make a play. You know what I'm saying? I for me, I just felt, and I felt this what Dan Campbell was thinking. Okay, we let's just say we kicked the extra point, right? And what was it? 23 seconds left. I think it was 23 seconds left. If they kicked that extra point, I felt, now you made another like little detail in it. You thought that maybe Dallas would go down and maybe still win the game, which I didn't even think of that scenario because
Yeah,
you're right. And I
I
think
kind
that's
of I kind of felt like, well, ultimately we got robbed of that anyway. Because
mm-hmm.
the play worked, the points were on the board, the points were taken off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I mean Dallas had with the way Lamb was explosive all day. I mean
mm-hmm.
all night. They had two timeouts, 23 seconds. The kicker can kick it from 60. It kind of felt like Dallas was going to win the game ultimately anyway,
That's
but we got
exactly how I
robbed of
feel.
it.
That's
That's the whole
exactly
that's the whole point now. But you don't know.
yeah,
Hutchinson had 3 sacks on the night. All it took was what for him to get one more sack, maybe
yeah,
take them
yeah.
10, 15 yards out of range. You talking about
Ye-
maybe us making a big play on defense, getting the interception. But the
mhm.
fact is, we got robbed of all of that. The
Yeah,
points
yeah.
were on the board and they were taken off. Like I said, I'm not blaming the loss on that. I think the offense was bad. Outside of the running game, even the running game, they averaged 4 yards a carry,
Mhm.
but there were a couple gashes. I think here and there from Gibbs, maybe one every now and then from Montgomery, but for the most part, Dallas made us work for a lot.
Mhm. And that's cool
And
because I think
the
that
passing game was just completely bad. And I think we have another situation where in another big game, whether we're talking about the terrible situation that we went through in Baltimore, or
mhm.
last night's game, or a couple games against the Bears, when teams play you a certain way, your play calling kind of goes in the toilet. And we look bad. This is a team that still can attack outside the numbers. They
Mhm.
finally gave JMO a deep post.
Yeah,
Finally gave him a
we see
deep
what
post, and Golf was finally able to hit this dude in stride.
we seen what happened. Yeah, yeah. And the thing about it is what this I just wanted to say. Okay. I felt that I just to me, the competitor in me, I felt that Dallas, we go to overtime, Dallas was gonna win the game. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a playoff
Yeah,
berth was on the
it's like
line. It wasn't
all the
like
juju in the building was going against us at that time.
yeah, yeah. And it was almost like Dan, I tell you, if I was in his spot, I would do the same thing. I would have totally went for it. Hey, given the result, it worked. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Even though the blunder by the refs, if we all look back, the first play, the initial play that we ran worked. Okay, whether it was a gadget play or not, it worked. Okay, that was should have been how that outcome was handled. You know what I'm saying? I like I said, when we could have made the score 7-6 in the first quarter, I remember me and you. I totally thought we should have kicked the field goal. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the wrong time to go for it. And then play call again. Jared Goff throws in the end zone. The guy had our guy had no chance to catch the ball. That was number one. The second one, inside the 20-yard line, you got Gibbs standing. They got 8 guys in the box, if I'm not mistaken, 7 or 8 guys. You turn around and hand the ball off to Gibbs and expect him to get 2 yards. I mean, it wasn't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So those two plays were really bad. I don't know what our guys were thinking on that. Ben Johnson or whatever. I like I said, I don't mind the going for it because that to me that's a mentality changer. That's a culture changer. That's Dan Campbell trying to bury the Cowboys, man, and I give him credit for it. It didn't work, but you know what? Man, who cares? I mean, people are so fickle because like I said, when it's going good, no one says anything, right? But when I even seen people say he should be fired. I think the more indictment of this whole thing was Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy got off easy because he gave
Oh
us
yeah, oh yeah,
38 sec 37. I was looking at the clock and they threw three straight pass plays on their final drive and gave us more time when it could have been damn near a kneel down situation if they had made us burn our timeouts. And he's lucky that the Lions lost, that they won the game, because everybody would be on his ass. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? That the Cowboys blew it. Number two, the whole AT&T home field advantage, I ain't buying it one bit, because that whole stadium was waiting for the other shoe to drop. It was quiet as hell. They got loud whenever they did. When they did something, they got loud. But they wasn't loud like for a field, like on third down. It was quiet as hell. I couldn't
yeah.
believe how that is not a home field advantage. They cheer when something go good. That team, they don't even have confidence in that team
Well, I
because
mean, any crowd can get behind it when they seeing pick sixes and they going up 21-0 and this and that. Yeah, but I mean, we went to Dallas and we did what nobody else been able to do all season.
yeah.
We put them in a serious game.
Yeah, and let's be honest, and we didn't have our best outing. You know, what I'm saying we didn't. Think about this. I seen three guys limping off the field in the fourth. People want to say, "Well, we should have went to overtime. We should have went to
I was
overtime.
just
It
about to
should
comment on
we
that because
it,
Joe agreed with you.
yeah, it should have been. It should have went to overtime. I seen St. Brown limping at the end of that last drive. I seen Jameson. Remember, Jameson Williams caught that
Jameson
63
left and
yard,
never came back.
never came back. The guy was hurt. Laporta, I think Darcy even said he dropped a couple. He dropped a couple.
Laporta looked beat up all game, like they
Yeah,
was really chucking him and giving him
yeah,
some
they
issues.
beat up Dan Campbell, going for the win. Let's get the hell out of here, guys. Let's win this game and leave. And his initial thought was the correct one. We should have won the game. I listen. Demarcus Lawrence played great. I mean, he was a factor for the Cowboy. He played really good. I was impressed by Demarcus Lawrence. He really was a factor. The interception, Jordan Lewis interception was a great play on the ball. I thought the second interception by Goff was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? For him to throw the pass. He didn't have a good game. Okay, and we still found a way. That's our formula. I think we can do some things moving forward. I agree with you with the Montgomery thing. I think it's kind of vanilla, but I think that's the kind of guy. I think Dave Montgomery, that's who he is, Walt. I think he's a guy. He's not gonna get to the corner and juke anybody. He just runs it straight ahead. I'm like you. Can you let's do a couple traps or something, or get him free a little bit better because he do have some wiggle to him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And Gibbs is a guy. I just think that we get in these laws where we don't use them and he don't, you know what I'm saying? He could be out there and
I
then
mean,
we give
he's also not as big of a part of the passing game as we were told he was going to be.
yeah, yeah.
Also, now maybe that's part of him still being a rookie, and as far as the nuances of the pass game, he's still coming along with those.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that come playoff time, we need somebody else, damn it, to be consistent. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, we haven't gotten anything from Donovan Peoples-Jones. We
Mm-hmm.
know what we're going to get out of Josh Reynolds. It's going to be maybe a big 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 catch once every 2 quarters here and there. But outside of that, he can be quiet as a church mouse.
Yeah.
We're going to get as much as we can get out of St. Brown. He's going to give us 110%. Every now and then, maybe Khalif Raymond will give us a play. But outside of those guys, and it's like JMO, I don't even understand, and you and I discussed this in the pre-show, I don't understand why they don't give JMO more touches downfield. Even if it ain't nothing but maybe picking up a pass interference call, which is what a lot of teams do, as far as how they utilize the deep attack now. But we have to start getting some plays outside the numbers, man. It's going to be difficult to really play us. What's going to be difficult for us to really get around.
Mm-hmm.
Beating too many teams. There's going to be certain, whoever we play in the first round, like I said, a lot of people are terrified of the Rams and whatnot.
I'm not.
I
I'm
think
not.
this team is tough enough considering, and we discussed how we would feel this video, how we would view this game if we did lose in the pre-show. And I just feel like this is a team that everything is coming together. This is the type of game where I feel like this type of loss won't send them into a spiral. It won't affect their confidence one bit. I think this is a mentally tough team that's built in Dan Campbell's favor.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the type of game that can springboard this team to winning a couple more games.
Yeah, us against
I
the
think
world
Minnesota
type.
done, though. But yeah, Minnesota's done.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the Lions gonna have to win next week anyway. You know what I'm saying? It may come down to get that second seed, which we can still get. You see how you see how things come full circle, that the Eagles mysteriously lose today, you know, to the
I told
Cardinals.
you it was going to happen.
Yeah, you did too. You called that one. Now, number 2 still in play. Now we got the Vikings on our field, which, let's be honest, I think the Lions are going to take care of business next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we can still get the second seed. So it still might come full circle and we get what we had coming to us anyway. You know what I'm saying? But the satisfaction of beating the Cowboys, and then I think, long as our record finishes better than the Cowboys, let's just say if we play Dallas in the second round, right, or in the playoffs, the game would be on our home field, right? Unless Dallas wins the division, they could still win the division now. You know what I'm saying? Like if
they would have to. Well, yeah, because they have the head-to-head
against us. Yeah. Yep. So that sucks. So like Eagles would have to win the division, Cowboys finish with the fifth seed, and then that would be the only way, like in round two or whatever NFC Championship, we would have the home game against them. Yeah. I'll play them in Dallas again because they crowd is not a factor at all. That place is. I mean, I don't see how that team
Their
is.
officials a factor.
Yeah, that's what it is. They don't need the crowd. They got the officials, right? They're 16-1 in their last 2 years there at home. That is not a home field advantage. Then what made it even worse? This what made it even worse for the Cowboys. Like I seen in the pre-game in the post game, they're celebrating. Well, not it wasn't even a celebration. It's like a library in a locker room. You got Mike McCarthy standing up and saying, good job, guys. We fought hard. And it was just like ho hum. It's
Because they
just like
know
it wasn't even. It was
they
phony as hell. It was ridiculous to me because
they know that for a third straight game they didn't perform well,
yeah,
and they
and
should
it's
have had three straight losses after last night. And
yeah,
we gonna keep it 100. They didn't celebrate and get excited because they know they got away with some shit.
yeah,
If they
yeah.
went out there and beat us, and maybe they led a game-winning drive and beat us in overtime, maybe they would have celebrated it then. But they know they got one, and it's
Yeah.
cool. Like I said, it's at
It's
the
the
end of the day,
NFL. It's the NFL.
things happen.
Yeah.
But remember the last time they screwed us? What happened the very next week? They got screwed at Green Bay
hmm Yeah.
with the whole
Yeah.
Dez Bryant. It's crazy though how Cowboy fans was all up in arms about the Dez Bryant play, but they
hmm
found nothing wrong with none of the home cooking that they threw on us a week before in that wild card game. But I get it. Fan
Yeah.
bases are, it's good when it happens to my team. It's horrible for you, but
Yeah. I think, like you
we can
said, I
see
just
him
want to.
again though.
Yeah, of course. I just want to piggyback on what you said, Walt. Like the demeanor of this team. I don't think I'm gonna agree with you too. I don't think it's something that's gonna break this team or now you know what I'm saying? Like, how with Michigan State would lose to Michigan, right? If they lost that game, the season was over. They probably wouldn't win another game the rest of the season, right? I don't think that's the case at all. You know what I'm saying? I think that they'll band together, if anything, or it would be just another like you said, another log to put on the fire if these two teams play. And let's be honest, I think we kind of need a rival now that we're a good team now. I do think we need a rival like Kansas City and Buffalo, you know what I'm saying, don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? I do think
Well,
we
and we
kind of need.
automatically guaranteed to play Dallas, if not every single year, every other year, at
Mhm.
least.
Yeah, so it's a good thing to have a rival. Like you said, you can't replay the game. You're not getting a W after all of these. It's just interesting that the whole crew in that game got like suspended, like well, not suspended, but just like held out of the playoffs. Now that's kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. If the Cowboys continue playing this way like they're playing, they're not going to go very far. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been impressed. They was impressive to me. I mean, I thought the defense is what I thought it was. They opportunistic in the secondary. They're flying around everywhere. Demarcus Lawrence, they're good guy. Good defensive player. Gave us some problems, some big problems. But other than that, nothing special
Micah
to
had a
me.
pretty good game too.
Yeah, Penny handled him a couple times though, man. I
Yeah.
mean, Penny put him back. I mean, it's gonna happen. You're gonna have battle of attrition between the defensive, offensive linemen, and
You
Penny
know what I was
Sewell.
thinking about doing that too? Watching a few of those plays, man. A lot of times people scoff at offensive linemen, especially high in the draft. They want to see the quarterback, they want to see the wide receiver, they want to see the edge rusher, maybe the big play
Mhm.
running back or whatever. We saw firsthand. I mean, well, we already knew what the benefits of having a talent like Panay Sewell was, but being able to like put him out there like as an eraser, as a corner.
Mhm.
Like, okay, this guy giving this guy all these problems. F that. I'm gonna throw Panay out there on him. And to
Yeah.
see him just be an eraser like that, man, he
Mhm.
showed right there why tackles matter.
Yeah.
Everybody wants these edge rushers where if everybody got edge rushers, you're gonna have some people to erase those edge rushers.
Yeah.
And Panay is that. He's definitely that. Now we may down the line sooner than later have some issues as far as Decker getting up in age. He's had an up and down rocky season for the most part. I'm pretty sure he won't be getting another contract here. So, as you and I discussed a couple weeks ago in the conversation we had, This is a team that could be looking. Don't think it's too far fetched to see tackle within the first 2 rounds selected in this draft coming up.
Yeah, I'm cool with
Guard
it.
for that matter.
Yeah, I'm cool with
Because
that.
as good as this offensive line has been, if you want to keep that, because let's be honest, the offensive line is the bloodline of this team, period.
Mhm.
You want to make sure that's what your calling card is. You want to keep it as healthy as possible.
Keep it as
So
healthy, right?
you want to make sure every year you draft a tackle, you draft a guard. Every couple of years, you may want to get one of those elite players coming out of college because without the offensive line, we have nothing here.
Yeah. How concerned are you about Cam Sutton? You know what I'm saying? Because I think
I'm
he
major
played.
concerned.
Yeah, because he played good. I don't want to say good. Sound like a little league coach, but he played exceptional the first half of the season. I think the second half of the season it has nothing to be desired, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of disappointed because the game we need him the most, he had a bad game and he got cooked, dude. I mean that touchdown for 90 some, even though that play should have never got off. I don't know how we didn't sack Jack Prescott on that play. It was amazing. He got out of that, but it didn't get sacked.
Man, listen,
But
I'm going to keep it honest with you, bro. It goes back to the draft. I
yeah,
see when I watch these guys on film matched up against some of these receivers, the CD Lambs, the Chris Olaves, the DK Metcalfs, the Justin Jeffersons of the world. I see elite athletes with
yeah,
elite quickness and shiftiness, and our corners just can't handle it.
yeah. He looked kind
Like
of
there was
stiff.
plays last night where he was right there though. He
Mm-hmm,
just he's lacking like this much athleticism. Like I said
mm-hmm.
last night, there was plays where he was in Lamb's hip pocket. He was in phase. He just wasn't quick enough to get there.
Yeah,
And that's
and
just
Roy.
how it is for us. We need man could have had Christian.
Yeah. Chris Gonzalez and Roy's right. I'm sorry, he's right. Bill Dorr did fall on that play. He's right. I could have swore Cam Sutton got rubbed or something on that play. Like he got picked. It was a pick player. So I thought for sure that he was with him. And then Vildor did fall down. Roy's right. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Roy, for that.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
by
know.
that time, CD had put him in he had swimmed him and put him in that blender so bad.
Yeah, but I know Cam couldn't keep up with him because Cam. I remember
Nah.
he went. What was the play? CD Lamb went all the way across the field coming from the left side, and it was
Well,
just like he was too stiff or something. I don't know,
let
getting
me
out of
ask you
that
this
break.
then. Some fans brought this up over the past week of, when the rumors came out about CJ Gardner possibly playing in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, he didn't play.
Yeah.
There were talks about maybe moving Afiatu back to corner. Could he give a guy like that more problems? Because at least with a guy like Afiatu Melifonwu, you got 6'2", you got long arms, you got 4.4 speed, you got
Mm-hmm.
physicality. Do
Yeah.
you try to switch things up and start beating a guy like Lamb up? Because the problem is we give all of these top-notch A1 wide receivers free range. They got zones.
Mm-hmm.
They got
Yeah.
zones to pick from through us, playing against us game after game after game. We don't get up there, even though I'm pretty sure we don't do it because we don't have those types of talents.
Yeah.
We don't get up there within 5 yards and redirect nothing. We don't get up there and punch nobody. We
Yeah.
don't get up there and disrupt any routes. We let guys run in the zones all day. So if the best athletes in the NFL are getting zones to run into all day, what you expect to happen? Let's be
Yeah.
honest. If Justin play this week coming up, Justin might get 160 on us because you giving him zones. I remember Odell Beckham Jr. was that type of wide receiver. And I remember whenever he would play Minnesota, Xavier Rose would give him horrible problems because Xavier Rose was big, physical, athletic, and he would choke him up at the line of scrimmage consistently.
Yeah.
You got to beat dudes like that up.
Yeah.
You have to, and we don't have anybody like that. That's why I kind of felt like, okay, you know what? I felt if CJ would have came back for this game, that would have enabled them to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If CJ Gardner would have been back, that gives us an extra safety, extra free safety, an extra nickel. Now we can take a guy like Melifonwu from time to time and play him against Lamb in the slot.
Yeah, because he can play corner. Melifonwu can play corner. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yes,
shown that he
you
can do
got to
that.
give Lamb different looks. Y'all wasn't giving
Mm-hmm.
him no different looks.
Yeah, yep. Yep. And like you said, it was just like he just was free. It was just like every time off the line of scrimmage, he didn't get jammed. He just was
This
able
dude
to,
was getting 7, 8 yards of separation.
yeah, hike, the play call, hike the ball. I mean, dude, he was immediately just like off his man. So it was amazing how he was just so wide open. Like I said, that 92-yard pass, that man, that was that was crazy. How that whole play just transpired, just not being able to come up with the sack, just being a hair too late. Now, getting on the defense side, I mean, Hutch finally broke out. He had 3 sacks. I think the first sack was more of a coverage sack. You know what I'm saying? Dak held the ball way too long on the first sack. The other ones though, I liked. Hey, Hutch did a couple moves.
Yep.
Debo this guy right
Took
into the
Terrence Steele
quarterback.
lunch money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Terrence Steele's
Did
not
what he
very good
needed him to do.
anyway, but I like what I saw out of Hutch. Um, like you said, Jack
Definitely.
Campbell did some good things. I noticed that Derek Barnes, it
Jack
wasn't his.
Pascal.
Josh Pascal, yup. It wasn't
Jack
Derek
Pascal.
Barnes.
Jack. Yeah.
It wasn't Barnes' best game as a pro. You know what I'm saying? He
He
has played
bounced back
well.
from the one play though. He made I think our linebackers, man, have been pleasantly surprising
Yeah,
this
this
season.
year, yeah, I take everything I say back. And there is Anzalone's been great. I'm
Yep.
telling you, Walt, him.
Jack has gotten better the
Jack
second
has
half of
gotten
the
better.
season.
Yep, yep. You can noticeably see that unit is not the problem, not the Achilles heel like it's been the last 10 years. But yeah, I thought that maybe Gibbs. Remember, Gibbs had a 40-yard run. I think it was 33 yards. Brought
Call
back for
back.
holding penalty. Yeah, it was almost like the only thing I was disappointed. I thought Gibbs would have a more of an impact in this game because you can see Gibbs can cause some problems, man. I mean,
Definitely.
I like what I see from the kid every game. It just seems like he's getting more confident, and he's going to be a problem. I think this Lions team, well, as a whole, is just going to be a different team. I think, like you said, the guys on defense coming back. I think that the approach is going to be different. The scheme wise, as far as putting CJ with some packages. Now, Melifonwu a guy that he's really forced his way on the field, and it's just weird to see with Houston coming
He
back.
stays where he's at. That's
Yeah.
just how I feel. I think once it's things get sketchy, man, when you get guys on the field playing in a new position that are hot and
Mm-hmm.
playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
As a coach, you don't want to extinguish that.
Yeah.
So you want to leave him out there. When CJ comes back, CJ can play a lot more slot. You can switch things up from time to time. We already know AG likes to send Iffy on some blitzes. You can always. We got so many guys that are interchangeable once CJ comes back that we can do a whole lot more. But I don't think they can afford to take Iffy off the field right now. He provides way too much value. Way too much value. The corners are still the problem. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we want to be honest about it. If we believe that all the young pieces we have on this defense is going to get better, we believe we're going to bring Aleem McNeil back.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
guess if those guys continue to mature and improve and get better, this team is 2 good corners away from really contending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 good corners.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it too, it's just amazing. I can't believe the Eagles lost today. That's number one because now my demeanor about the whole thing is different now. You know what I'm
I
saying?
can
Because
believe it because they flaky and
yeah,
Arizona compete.
yeah, and it's like
Arizona competes. People don't
yeah,
get that,
it's
man.
crazy because now. And I think Joe Chap said it. I mean, I think I just read what his post saying that is the way it's setting up. It could be Lions, Rams, Lions, Cowboys in the playoffs, and that would
Yeah.
be just like that would be the ultimate. That though both of those are winnable games. I mean, we can see the Lions in the NFC chain. If that happens that way, people are really scared of the Rams. I talked to a young man today, really scared of the Rams for some reason, don't want to play them in the playoffs. I just think the Lions will take care of them. On our home field, I think, obviously we know Stafford got some ability. Um, and he could throw the rock, you know, 400 yards. He's dangerous, can make all the throws. I get it. They're playing really good football right now. They won again today. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they do against the 49ers next week. But I think on our field, I think we would take care of them. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it.
Man,
That
I ain't
Aaron
scared of
Donald,
nobody.
yeah. I mean, Aaron Donald, obviously we know Aaron Donald caused some problems. You know what I'm saying? Can win a game by himself. But I just feel a little bit better about our team. I learned a little bit about our team, Walt, to be honest with you. In week 17, I can sit here and say, but what I'm saying is I think that we can go out and just if we control the line, I think we already knew this, but we actually seeing them put it on the field. Like if we got all our guys, we lost yesterday, but they're 6-1 now. I think when the offensive line, all the starters are in there. I think we have to dictate tempo. We have to be able to come out and run the ball. I think we do that. Lions gonna be hard out, man. I think AG for every passing game, like you said, you were more impressed about them having 10 points, and you're right about that. For a long time, Cowboys stuck on 10 points, and it's not by accident. It's not by fluke that the Lions went in there and held them to 20 or 10 points for most of that game. You know what I'm saying? And I just give AG a lot of credit, man, because he's have to shuffle lineups. He's got to disguise coverages. He's got to bring this guy, hide what he's doing because we don't have a personnel. You know what I'm saying? The talent wise, and he's doing it, man. He's doing it. I really respect what he's doing. It just seemed like he's always stood the course, whether they give up 45 points or 38 points or they give up 10 points. Aaron Glenn is a guy that is even keel. I can see why Dan Campbell, puts it all in his hands and just like he really trusts AJ. I think the players like him. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's
Yeah.
huge because, like you said, if like Matt Patricia, right? It just seems so weird that Patricia is all of a sudden like what is he the defensive coordinator for the Eagles? I don't get like what I'm saying? I don't get what is Matt Patricia now? Is he the defensive coordinator? I mean, if you're looking to him to
Man, I
be
don't
the
know what the
defensive,
hell he is. I know for one thing, he's Philadelphia's problem.
yeah. Well, what I'm getting at is
He's their curse. He's
I
their
would
curse
rather
because
have
they were
AG.
fine. Listen, they were fine before they brought his ass over there.
Yeah,
So now, so now look at what they are
and look at the
now.
fort right. Look, 49ers has got a first year defensive coordinator. The Eagles now have like you said, Patricia. I just feel like the Lions got a lot of more continuity. Colin Coward even said this last night. He even said this. He says the Cowboys won the game, but he goes, I feel like Detroit's the better team. You know what I'm saying? That's what Colin Coward said. I think that the Lions could go further than the Cowboys in the playoffs. And I agree with not just because I'm sitting here, in Detroit, that's my team or whatever like that. But what I'm saying is if I was an outside looking in, I would say the Lions are a better team. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well, you
I,
already know how I feel about physicality in the line of scrimmage. Like I just feel like if you can control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, typically you're going to be the better team. Another team can have bigger names. Another team can force more turnovers or whatever. I think Dallas is a very opportunistic defense, but you can run the ball on Dallas. You can also throw the ball on Dallas.
yeah, yeah,
They gave up a decent amount of passing touchdowns this season. I think overall, the defense played well against Dallas, played more than well enough for us to win. We ran the ball more than well enough for us to win. The one elephant in the room is that the quarterback play wasn't up to par. If we just taken out the situation with the referees and we just comparing us to Dallas, I think the poor play of Goff last night played a role. It
yeah,
did.
yeah. He was
And it's not
awful,
just
man.
him, it's the bad play calling.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, as a quarterback, you're lockstep, you're handcuffed to that offensive coordinator. So typically when the quarterback performs poorly, his offensive coordinator has a decent amount to do with that. I thought Ben Johnson called a poor game with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those play calls on third down and fourth down. I don't know what his love affair is right now with on fourth down and 3 or third and 6. Line and Jameer Gibbs up 4 yards behind Goff, 8 yards deep, and then just running him with no fullback, no scheme whatsoever, straight into a damn defensive line with 8 guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking
They
back
like,
at
they got to lose a lot of this stuff, but overall, you just get a good feeling about this team. They're tough.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
tough. They can run the ball. They know exactly who they are. Also, they didn't go into this game saying we're gonna throw Dallas off. We're gonna throw the ball a whole lot. They
yeah,
didn't. Golf had what 34 pass attempts.
yeah. Yeah, and it's okay. You look at it, first drive, 3 points for the Lions. It's just some significant here. I'm going to look at. Yeah, 11 plays, 52 yards. Right, four. It took 4 minutes off the clock. It was a sequence. Okay, the next drive, 5 plays, 10 yards for our offense. That's unacceptable. When you got that many weapons like we have. The next drive, 3 plays, 5 yards. 2 minutes 19 seconds off the clock. That's unexcusable in my opinion. We did hold the Cowboys their next possession, 3 plays, -5 yards. That was a good possession. Then the Lions got the interception. No, Goff threw an interception, 2 plays and 20 yards. The next possession after that. Then remember, Dallas got the ball, gave us the ball right back. They fumbled the ball. I think that was the one they fumbled it. Down Lions. Okay, here we go. Right here. On downs. 11 plays, 76 yards. The Lions go all the way down. Think about this. They eat up 5 minutes on the clock. Walt didn't even score. You get 11 plays, 76 yards. That's poor play calling. When you get down
And
in
but what did we say? All of
Mhm.
this goes back to the head coach, because come playoff time, that's when head coaching matters. It's
Look,
gonna be
look,
a lot of tight calls. It's gonna be a lot of big time decisions you got to make, and all of this stuff matters. You
yeah,
can't leave points on the board like that. You and I talked about this before, man. I had the feeling, you had the feeling midway through the second quarter, early
yeah,
second quarter actually, of what type of game this was gonna be. To me,
yeah,
it just felt like even after that broken play to Lamb for the 92-yard touchdown, it
yeah,
felt like Dallas was going to struggle to score. That's just
yeah,
how I felt. And it turned out to be that type of game. In that type of game, you got to be prepared for that game to be 15-12, 20-17, maybe 23-20. And in games like that, you got to take the points if you got an opportunity to get them.
yeah.
Take the field goals.
Yeah. Look
Take
at
the damn field goals. That's all you got to do, man. I understand you thinking about, this is Dallas. This is Dallas. We got to score. We got to score. We got to score. What game
Mhm.
did it turn out to be?
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody's so scared and was so terrified about it being a 40-point Dallas game, and it didn't even turn out to be that.
yeah,
So you have to be able to have some sort of gauge on what the pulse of the game is, man. And you can't start calling. You have to call the game based upon the situation you're currently in, not based upon what you thought you was walking into
yeah.
before the game. I think everybody, they Campbell kind of called that game like he was waiting on Dallas to explode for 3 touchdowns on 3 straight drives or something.
Yeah, cause this is what pissed everybody off. I'm gonna tell. I got it right here. This is think about it. Okay, uh this is after CD Lamb fumbled the ball in the end zone. Okay. This is what pissed everybody off. I'm gonna read this. Look at this sequence here. We get the ball. Now we NFL is about capitalizing on the other team's mistakes. Okay. First and 10 at the Detroit 20. Gibbs 8 yard run. Then you got Goff incomplete. Goff another incompletion. Fourth and two. Now this is after we got the ball. Like, look how ridiculous this is. We get the ball and don't even do anything with it, right? We get the ball to safety. We got all the momentum, right? Because we couldn't complete one pass for 10 yards and get a first down. We had to do a fake punt, right? This is the fake punt. Jalen Reeves, Maben, Dorsey for 31 yards. Okay, now this is how we look how ridiculous. This is where we lost. We lost the game, and I understand where people are saying that Dan Campbell blew the game because now we just seen. Now listen, he ain't got a lot of confidence. Think about Dan Campbell's situation now. Think about what I just read. We just lost. We got the ball back from the safety. It was a gift from I'm sorry, not safety. CD Lamb fumbling the ball out of bounds. We get the ball, don't do nothing with it, right? Get the ball back. We had to do a fake punt just to get the ball back. Okay, here we go. St. Brown, uh 11 yards. Jameer Gibbs, 11-yard run. Jameer Gibbs, 17-yard run. Then this is what I didn't like right here. Demarcus Lawrence, 3 yard loss for Jameer Gibbs. Right up there was a stupid play call, right? And now, granted, you're at the 19-yard line, right? Now it's first and goal. Think about this, first and goal. Don't even try it. It shows you Goff is so frustrated because now anybody on the 19-yard line the second time after getting the ball on two on a turnover and a trick play, automatically it should be Mahomes, Jalen Hurd, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. All these guys will capitalize. Do you know what we do? Run the ball right up the middle for a 3-yard loss. Now you got second and goal at the 5-yard line. Here we go. Jared Goff, incompletion of the play. I remember that play was a stupid pass. And then remember third and goal from the 5. We at the 5-yard line, right? This is our second time trying to score. Jameer Gibbs to the 1 yard to the 4-yard line. What do? We go for it. This would piss everybody off and piss me off because I'm like, now get some points, man. You know what I'm saying? Where it's 7-3. The game is not out of hand. Just kicked it. And then what they do, incompletion. It got no way they could get Laporta can catch the ball. So what I'm saying is, loss on downs. The very next possession by the Cowboys, they punted the ball on 7 plays. So I could see where, let's just say we kick a field goal and we get the ball back and now possibly able to go up, but we're 1 point down instead of 4. So that's just one little nuance what I seen in the game. I thought that those 2 plays, the fumble in the end zone, the fake punt, we did not capitalize. You know what I'm saying? Well, we could have, and I think that was that.
Man, listen.
If we do those, if we capitalize on one of those 2 drives, Wall, we don't even have to worry about the end of the game like that. You know what
Do
I'm
you
saying?
ever watching these types of Lion losses? Do you
Yeah.
ever just get the feeling that it's just a lack of confidence in golf sometimes? When
Yes,
you look at
absolutely.
some
Yes.
of the third down play calling, some of
Yes.
the fourth down play calling,
Yeah. Yeah.
just in general, man, it just feels like the fake not the fake field goals, but the fake punts,
Yeah.
the constant going for it on fourth. It's like,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look good when golf goes out in a night like last night and has the type of game he has. I understand he eventually threw for what 271, but
Yeah.
what 60 something of that, 62 of
65
that came
yards.
on, yeah, 62 of
Jameson.
that came on a throw to Jameson, and then the rest of those yards came on the final drive. And I'm not knocking him for it because
No, no, of
ultimately he
course.
almost led the game with the drive. But a lot of
Yeah.
those yards also came on that final drive when the Cowboys backed completely off into that cover 3 zone and just allowed us to just paper cut all the way down the field. So
Yeah.
if we look at it for what it is in the meat and potatoes of the game, golf pretty much threw for about what 160
Yeah. Yeah. Like 179 because it was
and
a
had 2
stat.
interceptions. Like
Yeah.
you can't have that type of quarterback playing the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
And
hold up. Well, let me go back on that because
yeah.
we've
Yeah.
seen quarterbacks perform poorly, but the defense manages to show up and just turn out a heroic performance. But the defense, I thought last night played the best they played all season, and they still lost.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like the offense needs to get it together. You said prior to the season you felt that the first half of the season the defense was going to be ahead of the offense. And
Mm-hmm.
that was sort of kind of true for a few games early on in the season. The Atlanta game was kind of odd. The Tampa game was kind of odd, but we still played well enough, and we were still better than both of those teams and beat both of those teams. But we had some eye openers against Baltimore. Um, the Green Bay game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So it's I look at this team, man, for what it really is. Can they catch anybody on any given day and beat them?
Of course. Of course
It's
they can.
possible,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we need so much to go right. This is why you constantly hear Dan Campbell say this in pressers after they lose a tight game.
Yeah. I
One
think.
slight thing can throw us off. We
Yeah.
need no penalties. We
Yeah.
need great offensive line play. We need elite running game. We need elite run defense. We need the running game to be efficient enough so we can start getting the play action game going, the different guys downfield.
Yeah.
We need too much going right for us to win these games, and we don't really have any racer out there like that offensively. A
Yeah.
guy that can just make up for everything we lack right now. Jameson Williams has the talent. We're still hoping that by year 3, which will be next year, Jameson finally evolves into what we saw at Alabama. If he becomes that, we may be good. But I still think the receiver position is something that needs to be addressed bad because, like I said, we don't know what's going on with Donovan Peoples Jones. But the
Mm.
fact that he's given us what, 2 catches? Because
Yeah,
he's been
something
there
like
for what,
two or
5
three.
games now?
Yeah,
We got what, 2 or 3 catches from Donovan Peoples Jones?
yeah.
Josh Reynolds, we know what we're gonna get out of Josh Reynolds. We're gonna get 1 catch every 2 quarters.
Mm.
And we gotta just be in a situation where we force feed everything to Amon-Ra St. Brown. For the
Mm-hmm.
third straight year, that man's targets are crazy through the roof, and it shouldn't have to
Yeah,
be that way
yeah.
for a dude
St.
who's
Brown is
5'10".
Yeah, St. Brown's amazing on that last drive too, man. It just showed me. I'm glad you brought St. Brown up because you know, I always use the quote. It's not even my words. It's Mark Jackson's. Where I always say it's winning time, man. And you could tell St. Brown is like this is what he plays for. You could tell guys who love it, who want the spotlight, who wants the ball in his
That's what I'm gonna
hand.
call him for now. One
One
catch
catch rental.
Reynolds, boy.
You could tell St. Brown Wall, he's got it. Whatever it is that a player's supposed to have, St. Brown got it, man. Well, that
Yeah.
last drive, he was Johnny on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, like not having he could not remember because I think Troy Aikman even said like, oh, St. Brown, he's been quiet the whole game, and then bam, like a light switch, dude. You know what I'm saying? It started clicking. So I'm really happy with Saint. I think that he's a guy that moving forward, everybody knows like who he is anyway. It's just like I like I was talking to a best friend of mine, and he was saying today that in teams when you got good players, when you have superstar players, they show up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was glad. I think just for the other teams, I mean, for our team's confidence and our team's morale, I think it was good to see Aiden Hutchinson get to the quarterback. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? For his teammates, like, damn,
He
man,
needed to see that too, because
he
as an
need to
edge
see
rusher,
it.
man,
Right.
you hear so much of the outside noise, even though they say they don't. But he
Yeah.
knows year 2, I'm stuck on 5 sacks, 5.5 sacks. Last year I had what, 9.
Nine.
He
Yeah.
knows. He
Yep.
knows,
Yep.
and just for his own confidence, it was great to see him have that type of
Yeah,
performance.
Hutch played good. He played really well yesterday. Like I said, I liked it. I like everything I seen with him. He was a madman. But like I said, St. Brown, 90 yards. Laporta 7 catches, 84 yards. Just going through a little bit of stats. Dave Montgomery 65 yards and a touchdown. Jameer Gibbs at 43 rushing. No, yeah, like you said, big fat donut receiving yards for Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? That can't happen. He's got to be more. I think he had one target in a passing game. So, Jamison Williams had the 69. Well, he had 2 catches. One of them was for 65. He had 69 total yards. One catch. Reynolds had 13, and Khalif Raymond had 11.
Call this man
One
one
catch.
catch
You gonna catch
Reynolds.
a one catch? You gonna do your boy like that, man? Call him one catch Reynolds, man. Nah, it's fun. But
I mean, he okay. He
mm,
on my team, but we talked about this prior to the season starting, man. You can't tell me you couldn't upgrade it over Reynolds. I can care less about him having a rapport with Jared Goff and him being one of the guys, the more likable locker room guys and all this other stuff, man. Him
mhm.
being a hard worker. You can't tell me out of what, maybe 87 wide receivers in the free agent market right now, you couldn't find anything better than Josh. More consistent. Not that I don't appreciate Josh Reynolds' big time catches on third down or whatever from time to time. One
Yeah,
every 2 quarters or whatnot. But if we
yeah.
trying to win for real, man, like I think Donovan's gone. Donovan Peoples Jones was an unrestricted free agent anyway. I think Donovan's gone. Um, Reynolds should be gone because we have to start upgrading at some of the positions, man. The
Mhm.
main thing is attacking outside the numbers, and you
Yeah,
don't want Jameson to be the only way you do that.
yeah.
A guy with the skill set of DJ Chark, even though it turned out to be good that we didn't bring DJ back, but we still need that type of dude. We really do. It'll benefit us so much
Yeah.
because someone else said in there. I think where is it? Roy, yeah, Roy brought this up.
Yeah.
Roy brought this up. The third down play calling was
Yes,
horrendous.
horrendous. I
We all
agree.
agree it was horrendous.
Terrible. Oh, I can't believe
But what about
like
the red zone play calling,
the
man?
red
Like
zone was absolutely
there's
ridiculous.
no big target out there. There's no T. Higgins. There's nobody that can get you an easy touchdown. It's the same damn play calling consistently.
Well, I
And
think
it's
that
like you watch the formations before the play start.
hmm
And I'll be sitting there looking at it like, oh, okay, this might be a little interesting. I've seen
hmm
this before, but maybe they're gonna do something different. And it's never anything different. It's either Laporta running a flat to the weak side. You got Gibbs
run
flaring out.
straight, just flaring out. Yep, just
He'll
flaring
he'll
out.
flare out. So your boy St. Brown, my boy St. Brown, he gonna run a shallow dig.
To
And
the
then they
make
just gonna send your boy Reynolds out there to just shake somebody and just run into somebody, and they
run into
get
the
caught up
goal,
in a wrestling. It's like,
run into a goal
what
post or
what the hell
something.
is this? So
Yeah.
is this supposed to be an elite NFL red zone offense?
hmm Yeah.
Now, I agree with you. I think some of this is on Ben Johnson being limited to the talent that's out there. They don't have a big time threat on the outside right now. Like we said, they're waiting on Jameson to still fully come around. Golf is limited. But I was so damn happy when he threw that dime to Jameson. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
finally was
Yeah.
able to hit this gazelle in stride
And it was on the money too.
on the money.
That
And
ball was on the
Jameson
money.
caught
Yeah,
clean.
clean. Yup,
Caught it clean with his
look like
hands.
NFL play. And like those two plays, like getting back to Dak Prescott. I mean, those two. Remember, he threw like three straight past to Brandon Cooks, and then the touchdown. Hey, them was dimes. I give Dak credit. That last touchdown to Cooks was the dime bag. You know what I'm saying? He threw that bad boy in there. So that's what you need your quarterback to do. And like I said, he showed me something last night because he made the plays when he had to. You know what I'm saying? And then too, and I think their kicker, that Aubrey kid, is a weapon. I think at what was it? He's
Oh yeah, you
35 out of
have to.
35. And
Kicking
like
matters, bro. I mean, we all laugh and joke about kickers. It's hard to find one. If you think finding a quality quarterback is hard,
mm,
what you think about finding a quality kicker is what, three of them in the league? And it's something to this whole kicking game because kickers are similar to pitchers in baseball. Like,
mm,
it seemed like a kicker or a pitcher will be really good for that one season or maybe 2 seasons, then out the blue. Pitcher may even win the Cy Young. Then out the blue, he'll just fade into obscurity and he won't be
mm.
around anymore, won't be any good.
Yeah.
It's like finding a unicorn when you find a kicker that can make it from 60, 62. Is money from 40 to 45. Extra points every year is going to be 32 for 32, 33 for 33.
Mm-hmm.
The kicker position is still something 3 years in we haven't fixed.
Yeah.
And I think, and I talked to you about that a couple weeks ago, I think that's something that must be fixed this offseason. They got
Yeah.
to find a kicker,
Yeah,
even if they
because
got to draft one.
yeah, because I remember I told you I didn't even think about that part of the game if if the Lions would have just kicked the extra point and tied the game, make it 20-20. I didn't even think of that. The 20 some seconds left, that kicker was as high as 60 yards or something like that. All they would have had to do is probably get, if they would have got a touchback, they would have probably needed about 35 yards, maybe 40 yards in 23 seconds. Chances are they might have got it. Chances are, like you said, chances are, I think if the Lions tie it up, I think they either lose that game in overtime or, like you said, or lose at the end of the game. That's just me. So that, for me, that justifies the whole Dan Campbell going for it at the end. The only thing I didn't like in the middle of the game, he could have took the points. You know what I'm saying? Just like a bunch of people said, a bunch of people I've had conversations with, it would have changed the outcome of the game, I think. You know what I'm saying? If we come away and have a 9-7 lead instead of two broken down drives and no points. You know what I'm saying? I think Chris Styles even said it like a while back. I seen it yesterday. He was saying your coach responsibility is to put you in the best chance to win the game. And he's right. You know what I'm saying? And during the game. So therefore you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it all the time. You don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go for it. I get it. like I said, but at the end of the game, I'm totally remember old school college football used to be that way. Remember you number one versus number. I remember Michigan did that, played Notre Dame, and they went for it on 2 point conversion, didn't get it, lost to Notre Dame. People was going. I think Lloyd Carr was the coach, and people was going crazy. And it's like you 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 have to buck the system. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to be a champion, to be, you know, I'm totally with it. Plus, how much I despise the Cowboy. I like all our Cowboys affiliates. No offense, Jerry Javier, Grady, all my guys.
Oh
Cow.
yeah,
I
and
hate the
it's all
Cow.
love.
I hate them. But you know what I'm saying.
But
So
they got away with something.
yeah, I hate them, but it's just, and I never say hate. I mean, it's sports. You know, we just doing all this for fun. But I say I just despise the Cowboys, and it made it even worse. It was against them, so you know what I'm saying. It was added fuel to the fire. I think it's a rivalry. I think the last two, playoff games we played in Dallas, it's been, the picking up of the flag, and now you got this, and it's like, man, it's like,
Dez Bryant running onto the field,
yeah, yep,
no
that,
helmet.
yep. And then that game last night felt like, remember Armando Galarraga for the Tigers had the no hitter, and the referee called the guy safe, and he was out. Remember, well, this is kind of for change. Remember Bill Laimbeer standing there with his hands in the air, Game 7 and 88. You know what I'm saying? It's just Detroit's always on the wrong end of these things, man. And I think that's what frustrates a lot of people too. You know what I'm saying? You can name a lot of times where we got screwed. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, we talk about the refs, before we get out of here. Well, this is something I didn't know. Okay. And I thought this was very interesting. Like they were talking about Dan Campbell telling the refs. Now Rex Ryan confirmed. I think you even played it on Facebook. I think you shared the video. I had seen it before you posted it,
They
but
do it before every game.
that's correct. I didn't know that. I didn't know you
Yeah.
could do. Yeah, you talk about the scenarios, and that shows you Dan Campbell's IQ. For everybody think he's a meathead and don't know X's and O's, I think that's very interesting.
Well, you
I
you
think
go
that's
to the refs and you let them know also because you don't want no bullshit. You want to avoid what happened last night. That's the whole point in going to them and letting them know. Listen, we
Mhm.
got this play. We're gonna use both of our tackles, well, our left tackle and our substitute tackle, and it's gonna be surrounded around them. He's gonna be eligible. He's not. That's the point of letting them know, so you can avoid them type of situations that happened last night. So
So let me ask you this, okay? Because Taylor Decker, I think, even said that they practiced it all week. I think Taylor Decker said, if I'm not mistaken, he said they practiced a scenario all week that if we get into the fourth quarter and we score, we got the ball, we are going for 2 points. Period. And they've worked on the play. You know what I'm saying?
I
Which
had
I
no I
think
had no issue with that at all.
that's what I'm saying. That's what people are going crazy. And I'm like, dude, that was part of the game plan for sure. But anyways, I just thought that man, that's so that's even more reprehensible on the referees, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If we
The
go
officials
over it,
are horrible this season, and I've
and I
rarely ever say that. I've never been get off my lawn officiating guy, but the
mm-hmm,
officiating been horrible this season, all
yeah,
across the board, all
yeah.
across the board.
And then on that drive, on that same drive, and like I said, I'm just pointing out some stuff that I see. I'm not a referees guy at all. I don't blame referees. But what I'm gonna say is this: St. Brown, remember that one pass like at the 10-yard line? St. Brown was hell, dude. He that like the referee standing right. The guy he
Yeah,
literally had St. Brown's hands tied behind his back, dude. And
Ken
right,
Fisher bringing this up right here. I think that got away with two of them though,
yeah.
two intentional grounded. So it happens, man. I mean,
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not
we
I'm
at the
not
end
gonna
of the
get
day, we
into it.
would like to. You hear a lot of fans say, "Well, you got to leave the game out of the refs' hands. You got to go out there and put
That's
teams
true.
away."
That's
It's
true.
not always possible when two good teams are playing each other.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not
true.
gonna always be able to go out there and win by 17. Most NFL games are decided by 3 points or less.
Yeah, that's
So
part.
you can't help but have these types of situations where within 4 minutes the game gets extra tight.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a pressure cooker. Playoff games, you in the pressure cooker for
So
4 quarters.
it's gonna be ratcheted up.
But
Just
the
wait. Just
last
wait.
4 minutes of the game, you in a one possession game, things getting tight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always possible to just go out there and blow teams out. Now, granted, like I said, we played like dog mess offensively outside of the run game. And to me, even the run game, They earned their keep last night.
Mhm. Right
But
now.
at the end of the day, the offense didn't carry their weight. They
Yeah.
didn't. And I know there's Cowboy fans that feel like, well, Dak, not Dak, but CD Lamb dropped a couple passes, other guys dropped passes. We should have scored more points on y'all. They got a right to feel that way, but I feel like with the way our defense played, if we got a little bit better offensive play calling, a little bit more aggressive, um,
In the
how
red
can I
zone.
put this for your boy Jared, man? I would just like to see Jared attack a lot more.
Mhm.
He's not as aggressive for me as some of the better quarterbacks in the league. I just need to see Jared take more chances. It
Yeah.
seems like he only takes those shots when they're completely manufactured.
Mhm.
If it's not manufactured, if it's not worked into the game plan for them to do that after they got 4 yards rushing on first down, 2 yards on second down, and then went through another five rushing plays over a two drive span where they were able to generate 6 yards here, 10 yards there, this and that, he won't do it. If they're not manufactured, they won't do it. We got that one shot to JMO last night,
Mhm.
and we didn't get a damn thing else.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like Ken said, I think it's the 6 points, not getting the 6 points in our zone, and then that safety. I think that was 8 points on the board that we could have had. You know what I'm saying? That changed this game if we get those points, or even if we get another three. Heck, let's just say we just score once or get that safety. You know what I'm saying? That's how much of a game of inches it is. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't get three on a drive, now, let me just say this. Now, I will be on Campbell's case. Playoff comes. You got to get the points in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? You cannot keep, I now this is when I will blame Dan Campbell. I said, because the playoffs a different animal. And you can't come away with those drives and not score. You know what I'm saying? You can be aggressive still, but man, if you in the zone twice like we were last night in the playoffs, then yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously it's a whole nother animal, and you need those points, to go up on the board. So I think in a little bit of me too, I think it's a little bit vanilla still what we're doing. I really do. I think vanilla. I mean, for what we have, I think because if we get guys backwalled, I think that's going to be like could make a difference in the playoffs. I do defensively. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Because we're gonna need it because if we have those games with Jared Goff like yesterday, we gonna have to score on defense. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make a turn, pick six, a fumble, something. You know what I'm saying? Because again, those 19, 20 point games always come back to bite the Lions, man. You know what I'm saying? We scored 20, we beatable.
Well, honestly, I
You know.
think ultimately that's what's going to happen. Like if
Mhm.
this team goes on a playoff run, it's going to be because the defense severely stepped up.
Yep. Yep.
And as
Totally
good as
agree.
they've played over the past couple weeks, like I said, you're talking about bringing back Aleem McNeil, defensive line help, James Houston pass rush help. Even if James Houston, and that's the thing with him coming back off injury, snap counts.
Mhm.
If James can come back and give us 15 snaps, we talking about just pass rush snaps. That helps out tremendously. CJ Gardner being back helps out tremendously. There's a possibility where if we do go on a playoff run, the defense is going to have to really hold the weight and carry us because it's been put out there how to get to Jared Goff.
Mhm.
We've seen multiple teams do it now. So I haven't seen Jared Goff and Ben Johnson display the ability to counter anything and be able to do, okay, you know what? You guys took this away from us, but we can still beat you this way and we can do this, we can do that.
Mhm.
They've still struggled in all of these losses to display that.
Yeah.
So my confidence in Jared Goff and Ben Johnson heading into the playoffs to make the right adjustments is kind of sketchy right now. I'm confident we can run the football, and I'm confident this defense is going to be a hell of a lot better come playoff time.
Yeah.
So if we can run the football and we can play elite defense come playoff time, all we need Dan Campbell to do is manage the game. That's it. Just manage the game, get a good feel for how the game is unfolding. That's all he has to do because this is also year three for him. He's new to all this.
Yeah.
This is one of the younger teams in football, but our head coach is brand new to all this too. So
Yeah.
we just
Yeah. Yeah.
need him to manage the game. We can get elite play from the defense, and we can still control the line of scrimmage, run the football the way we have all season. We got a shot.
Yeah.
We definitely have a shot.
Yeah, and you know what, Walt? I mean, just, to put a bow on this thing for me, I think that this is what we this is to put this game behind us now. I mean, like I said, the emotions is over. Like you said, now we didn't have time to process it, and we
On
know
to
we not.
Minnesota.
I was on the Minnesota right, and I think you go out and you take care of business in the first half, and you lay that team out. Okay, this is what I want to see. You get ready for the playoffs. You make quick work of the Vikings next week. You know what I'm saying? You're the better team. You're at home. You lost disappointing a dogfight. You take all that game next week at halftime should be over, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And you own Teddy Bridgewater. I think Rob said it best. Teddy got to be Teddy. That's right. Teddy should be in there in the second half next week because that's how I feel. Like this team, we got a good team, man. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that to go toe to toe with the Cowboys. Make no mistake about it, because Dallas is a playoff team too. Love them or hate them, they're a playoff team. So for everybody to say the Lions haven't played anybody and they're not very good, they're fraud. I beg to differ. I think that we can play against anybody. You know what I'm saying? If we're able to, like you said, have the game managed. I just can't believe that we're coming down to saying we need a game manager, but we got a game manager and manage these game. The game within the playbook. I think that we will be okay. And 9 times out of 10, I don't feel like now. Like last year, I felt that we personnel wise we couldn't play against other certain teams, right? I think now we do need some talent. Like you said, we need talent, obviously, on both sides of the ball more. But I don't feel like we will come. We'll come and play. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we will come and it's just like it's a total mismatch. Even if we played the 49ers, I think the 49ers are a better team and they would beat them. I think Baltimore's better, obviously. That's an AFC. But what I'm saying is, I don't think the gap Detroit and Philly is not that deep. I don't. I don't think that. Obviously, we know we can play with the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? We know we can beat anybody NFC South. We know the Rams are playing good, but I think they're beatable. I think Seattle, that's our kryptonite. We haven't beat Seattle in a while, but what I'm saying is, I think the Lions are just as good as all these other teams, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't see very many teams, but maybe two that could line up and say the Lions gonna have some problems against this team. They're not gonna be, And Baltimore just looks like a machine right now. I mean, give Baltimore credit, man. They're a machine, dude. They put up 52, 53 today on the
On
Dolphins.
a team that's competing for the number one overall seed.
Yeah.
Well, they were.
Yeah.
Baltimore clinched today.
Yeah.
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 But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're a playoff team, you're a playoff team. You
Mhm.
have some sort of recipe for victory. Now, whether or not that recipe for victory translates from the regular season over to the playoffs remains to be seen. But Detroit knows who they are. Like,
Yeah.
this is the best I've felt about a Lions team in forever. Like, I feel
Mhm.
like I know exactly, and it's crazy because people who my wife gets it because she sits around and listens to this all the time. So just off secondhand, she knows a lot about football. But people don't get how tough this really is, man, to fill these teams out because through what 6, 7 games of this season, we knew Detroit was winning, but we still had a tough time wrapping our hands around who we really were. Now, after last night seeing it again, I know exactly who we really are. I mean, we can run the football pretty much on anybody. We can control the line of scrimmage on defense. We can run the football on offense, and we can stop the run on defense.
Mhm.
And we can limit a lot of things. We can't limit a super talent at wide receiver, but we can get into our scheme coverages and get into our matchup bag, and we can make things tough for the other 3 or 4 options that you have offensively. But if you have the ability to run the football on the team, and then on defense, you have the ability to take their run game away and make them one handed,
Mhm.
that translates to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep.
But ultimately, what it's going to come down to is going to come down to whether or not Jared Goff can get it done for us. It's going to come down to whether or not Ben Johnson can call the game plan of his life, because you got to do that in the playoffs. You want to win and move on, you got to make the right play calls. And then you're looking at Dan Campbell. Can
Mhm.
Dan Campbell manage us through a playoff game? Can he navigate this ship through a playoff game? So, all right,
Yeah.
man, we done had these people for long enough. It's on to Minnesota.
Yeah.
We're in a situation now, but we're looking at what? The number 2 seed at the worst?
Yeah. Yep. It's beat down time. It's beat down time. Let's get the number 2 seed. The Eagles lost. You see how it comes full circle. You know what I'm saying? We got beat, we lost, and so the Eagles lost too. So I think that was huge for the Lions, in this seed. And so it's just been I expect the Lions to win next week. Big time.
Yeah, yeah.
So all right.
All right, man. Well, that's on to Minnesota. Lions fans, be happy. We are officially 2 weeks away from a home playoff game. I think it's going to be a Monday night game, honestly. I was talking to somebody about that yesterday, especially if it turns out to be the Rams we play. You
Oh
can
yeah.
almost guarantee the NFL is going to make that the Monday night game.
Yeah, must see TV.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
man, on to Minnesota.